Hello. It's another moment and another time. We are here today to look at basic calculations, just such as addition, subtractions, multiplications, and then and subtraction. So that is it. And then maybe probably we will look at some advanced calculations method. And then okay, so let's start. So this is the table we created in our previous lesson. We created uh, a report system where we have the student name, we have exercise 1, exercise 2, and then we have assignment 1, assignment 2, quiz 1, quiz 2, and then we total. From this end to this end, we try to capture it as the CA, right? The cumulative assessment record. So that is a combination of class exercise, assignment, and then the quizzes. So we find the total of the CA, and when we are done, we try to scale it to 30%. And then we look at how to calculate exam score. Let's say out of 100, we calculate 70% of the out of 100, and then we get the total percent of the whole exams, right? That is trying to scale it up to 100%, and then we get a grade. Let's say if the person get A, we will try to use the if conditions to check if the person had let's say a certain mark, then it should attract a certain grade letter, and then we will try to give a remark. So good, very good, and so forth. And then we look at the rank, look at the position of the particular student in that very score. Okay, so let's get it started. So we have, let's try to use this end for the basic calculations. So let's say here will be addition, and then here will be subtraction, here will be division, and multiplication. Good. So okay. Okay, so we know that addition is the plus sign, the subtraction is the minus sign, and then the multiplication is the asterisk sign, and then the division is the forward slash. So these are the various keys that we're going to use to do our basic calculations. So let's see how best we can get this done. So addition, let's say we want to add two numbers, and then we get the results here. We can just click here in the cell, and then we come to the address, sorry, the formula bar, so equal to, then you type, let's say 3 plus 6, and then press enter. You see, let me go back. What I'm saying is, we want to try to calculate, use simple calculations. This one, it has nothing to do with the cells that we'll be creating. Yeah, we're just trying to do something simple. Then when we are done, we'll be making references to the various cells we have here so that we can use them for the calculation. But for now, let's say we are trying to do some calculations. We are trying to add some numbers. So we can just click inside the cell and then start typing the equal to sign. Or we will just come to the formula bar and then we type the equal to sign. Whichever way you go by it, it will work the same way, because when you type in the formula bar, it shows it appears in the cell, and when you type in the cell, it appears in the formula bar. So whichever way you go by it, it's okay. So equal to, then we type what are the numbers we want to add. So we want to add about, let's say 6, and then we use the operation sign, which is the plus. So we're going to use this sign. So 6 plus 9, then you type 6 plus 9, then you hit the enter key. But you see that you have your 15 there. It has done the calculation for us. What about subtraction? So let's say we want to subtract 9 from, sorry, 6 from 9. You just have to type the equal to sign, and you type 9 minus 6, hit your enter key. It's just like that. We are going to use the / first to do the division. So let's say 9 divided by 6. Now we have it here. That is 1.5. So now let's look at how best we can increase our decimal positions. So now we have one decimal position. If you want to increase decimal positions, you click on this increase decimal, this one. So let's try to use it and see. So what are we having? We have 2 decimal places, 3, 4. So sometimes you could be asked to leave your answer in 2 decimal places, 3 decimal places, and this is where you have to go. And if you're asked to make it a whole number, you only have to decrease the number of decimal places. So we click on this, and then you see we are reducing the number of places. You see, and now we have a whole number. That is it. So supposing we have a decimal place and we have been asked to convert it to percentage, this is it. You just have to come to the number button where we have the percentage sign, and then you click on it to have your percentage there. So that is it. Now let's move to multiplication. So that one, you type equal to then the number, and then you have your answer there, 54. But now let's look at something with a division. Equal to 9. That is it. So that is okay. So now we're going to look at how best we can use these operations to work on our table here. So we know that in order to get the total of the CA, that is exercise 1, 2, and then exercise 3, assignment 1, 2, and then quiz 1, quiz 2. Now, in order to make sure that we get the total of it, we just have to use the addition sign. The addition sign. Okay, so let's try to input some dummy data and see. So 9, 8, assignment 2, let's say 7, and then 8, and then quiz 1, let's say the person had 20, and then quiz 2, the person had 28. Now, in order to get the answer, meaning we need to add the various cells we have here. So it's this cell plus 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 this cell. This cell will give us the total. So always remember that where you want your results to appear is where you select, and then you start typing the formula. So now we want our answer to be here, to be in this cell. So what do? We click there, then we type equal to sign. Now, what is the function for summation? We can either use the plus sign or a function called sum. Sum. This is what I mean. Sum, a function with a spelling this. Sum, S-U-M. This is what I mean. We're going to use this function. But before it will work, we just have to start with the equal to sign. So let's start. I click here. I can start typing in the cell or just the formula bar. So, and then I type sum. Now, as you open a bracket, the bracket that I'm trying to open means that it is going to contain the address of the various cells. So it's going to take the address of this cell, and then this cell, because the figures or the values we are trying to add are within these cells. Good. So we open our bracket. This is the bracket I'm talking about. We open it, and then we start to use the mouse to click on the various cells we want to add. So this is what we want to add. So we click on this one. And now look, if you don't press the control button and then you start pressing the various cells one by one, you see that it will be moving. It will be selecting the individual cells. But then we want to add a range of cells. So a range of cells, that is from this cell to this cell. Those are the cells we want to add, right? So that is the same. So you can use the mouse to click and then drag. And you see that as I'm clicking and then I'm dragging, I hope you know how to click and drag. Good. So you click on the first cell and then you drag like this. You see that as you drag, you see that the addresses here will be changing, right? So when you are done, you close your bracket, then you hit the enter key. Now we have the calculation here. Now let's go back and look at something. We can also use a different way. That is, when we type the sum and then we open our bracket, we can just select, let's say we want to select some different cells and then add them. So let's say we want to add exercise 1. We don't want to record exercise 1 and exercise 3. So we want to record exercise 1, exercise 3, assignment 2, quiz 1, and then quiz 2. To be able to do that, you always have to press the control button on the keyboard. The control button on the keyboard. So we've selected the 9, then we come here, the exercise 3, we click on the exercise 3. You see that now blue is indicating that we've selected a different cell from the red one. And then we go to assignment 1, quiz 1, and then quiz 2. And you see that as I select them, you see some commas separating the various addresses. So when you are done, you close the bracket and then you press the enter key. You see that it has added the various cells that we selected. Good. So that is how the summation works. So that is it. So if you want to subtract different cells, let's say we want to subtract this from this one. With this one, the best thing we can do is to type the equal to sign. And when we are done typing the equal to sign, we will press on the cell we want to subtract. So with your mouse, you just click on this one. When you are done, you press the minus sign, and then you come again, you click on the very cell you want to use it to do the subtraction. When you are done, you just press the enter. So you have your subtraction. If you think I went too fast, just reverse the video and then do it again. Now, what about the division? It works the same way. You type your equal to, then you use your mouse to locate the very cell you want to divide, then you use your division sign, which is the /, then you click on the number you want to divide, the cell you want to divide, and then you press enter. That is it. So that is how the division works. So what about the multiplication? The same way, you type the equal to sign and then you use your mouse, you select the cell, then you press your operation key sign like this, and then you use the mouse again to press the other cell you want to do the multiplication. When you are done, you just have to press enter. You have your multiplication there. So now let's look at how you can add a column, values in a column. So let's say we have 32 here, we have 40 here. If we want to add these two, how do we go about it? You just have to type your equal to sign, and then the same way we did it with a row, you type sum, and then you bring your brackets, and then you click and drag to select, and then you close it. You close the bracket and you hit enter. You see now we've been able to calculate the values in a column form. What about subtraction? So let's say we have 3 here and we want to subtract 15 out of the 3. So you click your equal to sign, then you go and click on the 3, then you press your operation sign, which is the minus, and when you are done, you press where the cell we have the 15. When you are done, you just have to hit the enter key. You see we have -12. So let's look at the division. So let's say we have 35.5, and then we want to divide it by 3. You only have to type equal to, then when you type the equal to, it is this top one, and then this, you press your minus key. Sorry, this is division. So you type your equal to sign, then you click on the cell, then you press on your divisional sign, and then again you click on the number you want to divide with. When you're done, you press enter. Now we have our answer here. Now if you are practicing, if you are following what we are doing, try to reduce the decimal point to 2 decimal places. Now let's look at multiplication. So supposing we want to multiply 2 by 3 equal to, and then you click on the cell, and then you use the multiplication sign, and then you click on the cell again, then you press enter. Now remember something, we have been using the mouse because I think it is a very fast and the easy way to understand. But then supposing you've been given a theory question, if you are supposed to add a cell, you have to locate the cell address. So this could be what? R. You see, we are on the R, and then we are here is 8. So this cell address is called R8. So you are going to do the calculations on what? R9. So that is it. Don't be confused. It's just the same. So one thing you have to know, supposing you've been given something like this, so let's say we don't have any formatting, we've not formatted our table. So let's say it's like this, and we are supposed to indicate that this is our final answer. You have to introduce a border. So this is a border line. So we introduce top and down, right? So this is a top and down. You select it and you see that you have top and down. Now this is indicating that the various answers we have here are the calculations from the top. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson. But then let me add one particular thing. When you are doing your calculations, remember that there are times that you need to do some advanced calculations. That is, the position of your operation signs and the numbers will affect your results. So let's add something like something like so let's try to do this advanced calculations. So how are we going to do this advanced calculation? Depending on the position of your operator will determine the results you have. So this is where we introduce open brackets and then closing brackets in order to be specific on on the answer we want. So let's type this answer, this raw equation we have here, and then see the answer we will get. So we have 3 equal to, let's try to get the answer here. So let's say this is total. So we want to add the total here. So we start typing equal to, then we type 3 plus 3 plus 12 divided by 2 times 4. Now we are done. Let's press enter. Now what did we get? We had 30. Yes, 30. But then with Excel places its priority for the calculations on division and multiplication. So it will always it will always do the multiplication and then the division first before subtraction and then addition. Get this right. In Excel, whenever you type something, it will calculate the division first, the division and the multiplication first before it considers any other operation sign. So division and multiplication, or multiplication and division first before either minus or plus. But then let's try to say we introduce the open bracket and then the closing bracket, and then let's see. So we want to show the answer down here, so we type equal to. So now we want to know that we are doing the addition first. We want to tell the system that, okay, with these calculations, the additions are first, and then when we are done, we divide the total of the values we are adding, and when we are done, we also multiply the result. So let's see. So with this one, we have to bring the bracket. So 3 plus 3 plus 12, bracket close. This time we are trying to tell the system that, okay, do the addition first. Do the addition first. And when you are done, divide the addition by 2. Right? And when you are done, multiply by 4. So now let's press enter and see the results we will have. We had 36. Yes, 36. So it tells you that when you are doing advanced calculations, the position you put your operator determines the results you are supposed to have. So with this, we know that one, we are doing the addition first. So when we get the results for the addition, then we try to multiply 2 by 4 because the multiplication will be first, and then the results we get with 2 times 4, then we divide the addition we had here by the 2 times 4. So you see, with that one, you get 36. So always be careful with the position you put your operator and then the bracket sign. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you are practicing. And be remembered, after this, you're going to have an assignment trying to determine the average, the minimum, the maximum, and then we look at how to rank a particular value. So thank you, and I hope to meet you again.